Well, today could be a pretty special episode quite early on in this head coach save because we've got a chance to wrap up our first bit of silverware with the J3 League title at FC Gifu. Not the usual start to this story for us over in the Far East, but so far it's been really rewarding. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 11 of this FM24 Head Coach story with me, Daniel. We are back today to face 6th place Rainmere, one game before what was the top of the table clash, and if we win it, we will be champions of the J3 League with Gifu. We've had a brilliant season, our director of football, in fairness, has done a wonderful job, but we have now got our first big blow, which is a huge injury to a star midfielder. It's not stopped us so far in terms of results, but it's certainly got me thinking about the future. But the good news is we've wrapped up promotion, we've got that on our CV, and the transfer budgets for next season, by the way, are well beyond what we could have expected. So if you're looking forward to all of that news, as we hopefully get our youth intake as well, and maybe have a little look at the job centre to see what might be available if we want to take something on, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. For now though, let's have a quick look back at what's been happening with Gifu, because we've not been great in recent weeks, but we've been efficient. A lot of games have been won pretty narrowly, we've not kept many clean sheets, but we've done the job. So since you were last with me for the FC Osaka game, we had the same old trait as normal actually, which is the first game after we failed to win. We came back from 2-0 down at half-time though, so we've got to be happy to stay unbeaten. Two of the director of football's mid-season signings, Hanya and Sakano, came off the bench to save us. We beat bottom of the table Sanuki 1-0 thanks to Komi. He scored a cracking goal in that game. A 3-1 win at Honda. All of the attacking stars in there again. 2-1 at home to Namazu. Again, two of the attacking stars scored. Against Iwate, a 5-2 win. 2 for Ortiz from the back, 2 for Fujioka. Komi continuing his good run as well. Against Ryukyu, a rare goal for Ryo Makita, who's done a good job covering in midfield. Also Sakano getting another off the bench. A 4-0 win away from home at Kitak Yushu. Najim scoring one, Ugajin as well. Both fullbacks getting in on the act. 1-0 against Tiamat thanks to a late park penalty in what unfortunately may be his last appearance for us because he is now out with a very bad hip injury. Not the normal 3-month one, but this time between 4 and 5. Unfortunately, that is going to harm us. However, it didn't stop us winning 4-1 the game after. Fujitani, last season's right back, came onto the bench in that spare spot and he actually came off it to score a goal as well, which was great. So let's go and have a look at what's been going on because promotion is secured and we have got our youth intake as well. It's just come through now. How handy. One very good player by the looks of it, but overall a pretty average intake. So Hiroki Fukano is our best one, 1.5 star ability striker with 4.5 potential. Not the best physically. And he's only 15, but if you're looking at a natural poacher, he's got acceleration, good finishing, good first touch, not bad composure, and he's good off the ball. I mean, you could ask for a lot worse, couldn't you? Someone who's definitely got the potential to make it. And then the only other one worth looking at, perhaps, just edging further down here, is Rui Ito, a right winger, 1-star ability, 4-star potential, pretty poor personality as well. Maybe not that great, but we're probably not going to be here to see their development, let's be honest, because we've done our job now and got promotion. We've had a couple of big key injuries. And although there has been a bit of a tempter in terms of the transfer budgets, we are probably going to look to move on this winter. This is the news that's making me consider my options though, because promotion was secured 2 games ago. And this is what was suggested by the board. A 2.5 million transfer budget with 48 grand a week in wages, which it's not a huge increase from what we've got now, about 15 grand up, but a double the wage of what we're committed to spend next season at the minute. And it obviously reflects the fact that the TV deals are very good in Japan and get better as you go up the divisions. Financially, the club's very secure. They do seem to have overspent on their scouting budget, which seems to happen a lot this year. But overall in a very good position. And you would trust the director of football based on what we've seen to do well with it. However, we've got to look at the situation we're in. We're just doing our second coaching badge, which should push us up towards maybe 1.5 star reputation. The club we're at, FC Gifu, is also 1.5 star. We'll possibly edge up to 2, but it's still not going to be huge. I've just seen that the media prediction was 6th there. We were definitely favourites in pre-season. We showed it on multiple occasions. We go and have a look though at the job centre. I just want to show you what sort of things are up at the minute, because of course for most of Europe, where we'll ultimately be looking, it is that sort of early stage of the season where managers are just starting to get sacked. So I'm keeping an eye on things and thinking where will be a step up. Now, you've got to rule out a lot of the jobs that are available in England, because now we're at a 1.5 star club, and with the budgets we've got, it probably wouldn't be realistic to go back to England and manage in non-league. You wouldn't be accepting the move unless you got a good EFL club, and I mean a pretty established one. So I think that rules out all of the non-league jobs and a couple of the League Two ones. Maybe a Morecambe at the bottom of the table. You'd think I'd rather stay here in Japan with my settled squad, my money and my promotion. What we've got to perhaps look at then is, can we get a top tier job in Eastern Europe or Northern Europe? So you look at the likes of Iceland, Finland, Poland. Can we find a job where we'll maybe get an opportunity to push on for European football, which is where we can get noticed in the big leagues? The alternatives are South America if we want to go on a tour, but again, I'm not sure that's the right move at the minute. And then you've also got the opportunity to look at the second tier of some of the other big leagues, so the likes of Spain and France, but then we'd probably have to go to one of the smaller clubs in that division for that to work. So we're looking around the sort of 2 to 2.5 star reputation clubs and thinking, are we going to get that move as we go along? We'll wait and see, obviously, in the fullness of time if it happens. But for now, I'm content if we end up staying at Gifu, albeit I'm worried about certain areas of the squad. But I would like to get that move to Europe, maybe somewhere that's a stepping stone back towards Britain, but without going to the UK straight away. So I would be interested to get a job where we can maybe push for Europe early, as we did in FM21 when we were in Scotland, which was good fun. But for now, we've got to focus on getting a trophy wrapped up. We've got a game in 3 days with FC Gifu. We came back early to see the intake and of course talk about jobs. But Raymere on Saturday is an opportunity to win the league. We are 16 points clear with 6 games to go. I'm just making sure Kagoshima kick off an hour earlier. And they're playing away at Awake, who are just about safe now. They've got nothing to play for. So if they're losing in that game, we might win it by default. If we drop points and Kagoshima win, it will go down to the decider the weekend after. But I think we're going to win this pretty comfortably now. It's a formality, it's a matter of time. It's been a very comfortable season. But let's go and get ahead to Saturday and see what position we're in. Well, we return on Saturday for our 4 o'clock kickoff. Ryo Kubota has made it after a little bruised knee during the week. But for now, Kagoshima are at 0-0. And if we get a point and that stays the same, we've only got to match their score this weekend. So let's go and get through the tactical meeting. Our visitors are setting up very defensively, a tactic you may have seen before if you've been following the Twitch save with Luton. But for now, let's go and make our changes, because we've got the left centre half who's starting to shine now. Another one that our director of football brought in mid-season. Ortiz hasn't had the best spell alongside him, but he's still doing all right. Ugajin is in for now. But once we've won the league next week, we will bring Sakira in for a few, albeit he's not been playing that well or training well either. I have promoted another midfielder in Rui Asako just because we're a little bit light in that area. But for today, it's about sticking with what we've got and getting the job done. It does mean that following his injury, Takuya Sumi is straight back in. Park is not available, so Kita moves over. The rest of the team, though, it virtually picks itself. We have edged Hanya above Fujioka, but in recent games, that's not worked out that well. So I'm going back for the tried and trusted to try and win the league. Gomez is the man between the sticks with Najim and Ugajin at fullback. Ibasuki alongside Ortiz at centre-half. We've got Komi and Kubota out wide, Sumi and Kita in the middle. Then Fujioka alongside Akita up front, who has still been a bit of a star this year. He's finally reached the same goal tally Nduka had when he left. But from a target man role, he offers so much more, and I will have no complaints about him. Into the first of today's 2 games, but can we wrap up the title early? Well, 3 changes for our visitors. Of course, they're not really coming out with too much attacking intent, and we have found that in a few away games this season, a few games where we've been at home with away teams, where they've just come and played for a 0-0. We had it with the bottom team in the league, struggled to a 1-0. We had it in that game where we won with a late penalty as well. It is something we've seen a few times, but for now, let's go and get into the first half. Yet again, we've got over 5,000 fans in. We've definitely improved that club reputation. We've got locals to come and watch the game. But early doors, it's a Raymere free kick, and I wonder if today, because the pressure's on, You could win the title. Is it going to affect the performance? It's something we have seen in FM before. And so far, Raymere are the dominant side. Of course, we've not got that control in midfield. We're missing our star player there. And we're also missing our penalty taker if we win one. So there are a few causes for concern. And the first half an hour suggests we're going to be frustrated. It's going to be a pretty boring game. Something we have to get used to now. We're 10 minutes to go. Teams are sitting back. And we need to take advantage. Why Akita's taking a corner, I don't know. Don't really want my target man out there. Kubota finds Ugajin, no. And he nearly scores the left back. Cracking effort, just wide of the post. And it stays 0-0. We're 5 to the break. Well, half time, our opponents have not managed a shot on target. We've only had a couple. And they've got what they want out of this game. They'll take a point. They're pushing for the playoffs. But going forward, we've maybe not quite got the same spark. And again, lost a bit of that attacking or that midfield depth behind it, which does help. As Matsumoto puts the cross in, oh, we could have gone behind there. Ugajin off the line, Kita will chase, and he might break away. Now we've got a 3-on-3, but it peters out before we can see it. 55 minutes on the clock, and it has not been a thrilling game. Long gone are the 4-0s and the 4-1s every week. They're now a bit more sporadic, with teams defending against us. With 25 to go, we're going to go a bit more attacking though. We'll make some changes going forward because there's a lot of nerves about. I'm going to go for Hanya. I'm going to go for Sakano. And I'm going to go for Ishii. We'll change all three. We're also going to take off Ugajin for Endo. And we'll leave the last one a few more minutes. But maybe Ishizaka could come on for Sumi, who's struggling. And we'll switch Kita over. Not sure what role he's best in. It'll be all right there for now. We've got 25 minutes to find a winner. But 0-0, it might be enough. We don't know yet. If the other game ends in a draw, this ends up being a very good result. I'm a bit concerned about the nerves and the mentality. There's definitely an effect of us potentially winning the league. As Najim heads away across, Endo flicks on. Can we nick one on a break with Hanya? Out to Ishii on the left-hand side. He can break away. Inside to Sakano, who's getting back forward. Big chip up towards Kubota. It's a great ball. Man in the middle. Hanya's there. 1-0 to Gifu. Hanya off the bench with the goal. Seems to be so much better as a super sub than he is as a starter. Kubota finds him with a great cross. The ball from Sakano, the target man. It's an unbelievable spread of play. And with 10 minutes to go, it doesn't matter what's happening elsewhere. We are on course for the title. Oh no, bad mistake by Ortiz. He gets back. Oh, it's wide of the post. Just did enough in the recovery to force his man wide. That is not the sort of mistake we've seen a lot this season. As Kawano goes back to Amori, into Tran in midfield, and now Hashimoto. Are they finally coming out to play that they're 1-0 down? Matsumoto cuts in. It might score here, you know. Hashimoto's in again. Oh, it's a penalty. It's such a soft challenge. You do almost feel in this year's game, it's one of my few criticisms of the match engine. You do almost feel that the penalties are telegraphed. You can tell when they're coming. As Amori sends the keeper the wrong way. And now we've got to go back to worrying about Kagashima's result. Because if they're winning, the title's going to have to wait another week. 1-1, we're going to encourage the lads, try and push them forward again. But we've been frustrated. They've sat behind the ball. They've won a penalty. They've scored their only shot on target. Cracking away performance for them. I'm disappointed. We didn't seal it. So does that mean Kagashima won? We have won the title. I've just got the alert. Kagashima lost 1-0. 17 points clear with 5 games to go. We have got our first trophy in this head coach save. And I tell you what, those that have followed over the years, does not normally happen in our first 2 seasons, which is why this is probably such a fun save starting in Japan. Because we've had a bit of a landing on our feet with this job. We've had a very good director of football. And now the board, the fans and everyone is delighted with us at FC Gifu. Not the result we wanted, not the style we wanted to do it in. But now we face the side who are currently on course to finish second. And we can try and show off against them instead. Back in a minute for the second game of the day, where we can relax and ruin someone else's promotion chance. Well, here we go. We are back for what I thought would be a title decider a few weeks ago, but now, after Kagashima have dropped off, it is a relaxing day for us with a title secured. But that's not enough for me. I want to ruin their promotion chances too. They've fallen away a little bit. Now the gap is just 5 points to the side below them. And if they lose this game, they'll be under pressure. They've dropped big points in their last 5 games. In fact, they've not won in any of their last 4 away matches, dropping 10 points in the process. Far from ideal for them in their title charge, or what is now a promotion charge. So let's go and get through to our game. We are going to make a couple of tweaks to the team, but not quite as many as the assistant manager is suggesting. So the first one of the day is going to be that I'm going to bring on, well, I was going to bring on Segura. He's played for the under-18s. I'll bring him in next week. He will be on the bench instead of Fujitani moving forward. What I'm going to do this week instead, though, is put Asako on the bench, just so we've got a dedicated midfielder. And at 20, it's basically sink or swim time for him. He's got to prove that he's good enough for the first team. Kusamoto has actually declined since learning his new role, which is a little bit disappointing for me. I am going to put a different player to Ishii on the bench today, but it will be Fujitani again because Kusamoto's really annoying me. So what we're going to do as a result of that is stick with most of the team from last week, but Fujioka will drop out for Hanya, who again was the super sub. I'm going to keep Komi on the left for one more game, but it might be Fujioka next time if he fails. So that means the 11 sees just the one change. Up front, Hanya is the man to come in. Let's go and get into it against Kagoshima and see if we can spoil their promotion chances. Well, into the game we go. As our hosts have made 2 changes, we know they're a good side. We know they've been in form most of the season. They've got momentum, despite maybe not having the best team. And I wonder if today this is just going to fall away for them. We did look at their form, and of course, while they've been dropping points galore away from home, they've basically been faultless at their own stadium. They've not really dropped a point here for a long, long time. As a result, I'd expect them to be strong. But Ortiz has nicked the ball early, and now we're going to try and break away. Kubota, at the age of just 23, really improving. Najima and Ortiz always training well. We've got a lot of younger players that are getting on well here. Of course, there are some priorities if we do end up here next season. Let's hold that thought with Komi in. Oh, that's delightful. I don't remember seeing one of them this season. Komi gets in behind, goes for a delightful little dink over the goalkeeper. And it's 1-0 to Gifu. That's a stunning goal. But back to what we were talking about a moment ago. With the Park injury, if we do end up staying here, if we either can't get another job or we don't find one that's suitable, we are going to have to get improvements in midfield because with Park out, Sumi and Kita will not be strong enough for the second tier. In fact, Sumi's retiring at the end of this year. Kita is a right winger who's doing a job for me. It's an area where there'll have to be improvement. Add to that Komi and Ibasuki, 2 of the better players, are on loan at the minute. And Komi at the moment is single-handedly winning us this match. Hanya sets the goal up, who's been a brilliant signing. If we can't keep Komi, there's another one the director of football will need to replace because he has been a massive player for us this half of the year. Basically, his addition and his return from injury has meant that we haven't missed Nduka. And in other circumstances, that could have been very difficult, as Hanya chases across from the Najim. And this side in second, they're feeling the pressure, aren't they? Kagoshima are falling apart, and Komi is tearing them to shreds as he gets in the box again. Brilliant ball for Kubota. Head's just wide. It was brilliant from Komi. He's having the game of his life out there. He's improving quickly. He's another good youngster. But at the moment, Kagoshima have got no answer. They've set up defensively. They've got no strength out wide. And we're taking advantage with a 2-on-1. Like, they just hit an overhit cross there. They could have got themselves in. It's back to Inoue and Awase. Good football to keep the ball. We nearly poach it there. But they are passing it about. And they've got those extra men in the middle. 3 at the back, 3 in midfield. But Akita nicks it. Kita can bring it downfield. Inside to Komi, who's drifting in again. Brilliant football from him. Wide to Najima at right back, who's got support down the line. Goes alone himself. Kubota's run inside. He's given him space. He's gone back to Sumi. Najima again chips in. Akita's up. Big header. 3-0. Wonderful football. Brilliant play out ride. It was a really good cross from Najim. And that from the director of football last summer. Some of the best work he's done. I was worried about the 5'9" goalkeeper. I needn't have been. I was worried about Najim staying fit. I needn't have been. And Ortiz, while he's not been brilliant every game, he has been that aerial threat we wanted. And for now, at 3-0 up, not only are we potentially going to see a different side come up with us, we're emphatically proving that we should have won this title. The tactic is settled. The director of football's given us a great team. And we're just walking the lead now as Fagete gets away down the right. Chance to cut back. Komi wins it. Falls on the edge for Awase though. Good strike with the outside of the foot. Deflected up to Akiyama, who heads just wide. With 10 to the break, it stays 3-0. I mean, we've been so ruthless with our chances, but they are growing into it now. Might not be quickly enough to save a point for them as Ortiz hits the post from a corner. There's that aerial threat we were talking about. At half time, it's going to be 3-0. It's a really good performance. And for now, we'll praise the lads and go straight into the second half. Well, 25 minutes to go, and I can just say that the thing I'm happy about is how quiet it's been. No highlights in the second half. It's been comfortable. We do have a problem with conceding late goals in these games, particularly when teams chase it. As Fagete gets away down the right with a chance to cross. Cuts back to Akiyama. He finds Fagete on the byline again. Akiyama in. Good clearance Ortiz. Punts it down the field. And is headed away again. Only as far as Akuda on the left though. He finds Shigeru. To Inoue. It's good football from Kagoshima. Finally putting a bit of pressure on. Big switch of play. Ugajin doesn't get there. Yamamoto's in the middle. Komi half clears. Only as far as Fagete. Oh, it's another penalty. That didn't even look a foul if I'm being honest with you. It was a good challenge from Komi. He won the ball. It went the other way. In the end, a penalty is given. Gomez is dancing. Can he save it? No, he can't. Into the bottom corner. He's been sent the wrong way. And I think it might be time for a sub or two. We'll be back in a minute when we've made them. Well, 3 changes being made for now. We're protecting Komi, who physically has struggled at times this year. So Fujioka on there. Asako will make a debut for Sumi. That's why we put him on the bench today. And Endo comes on at left back for Ugajin. We've got 2 more if we need them. But they're not coming on just yet. We've got 20 minutes to go. They've actually got the better expected goals. But we've created more. And if you take away the penalty, I'm sure we'd be on top. So with just over 10 minutes remaining, we will look at changes again. As Keita wins a header, crucially in midfield. I don't know what Endo's doing back there. Fagete in. Could have been 3-2. We're starting to panic a little bit defensively, which is a worry. Najima is really struggling physically, so there's no point taking a risk. Fujitani will come on, and Kubota will be replaced by Sakano. What we'll do up there is we'll put Sakano up front. Hanya will come on the right of midfield, and he'll go a bit further forward. So with 10 minutes to go, 3-1 Gifu. The first half has won us the game, but not the best second half performance. And to be fair, with the squad rotated a bit, you probably can't expect it either. What is the case though, is Kagoshima are faltering in their promotion bid. We've won the title emphatically. We've then proved it against the next best team. And now we wait patiently to see who will join us in the J2 League and whether or not we get to move on to another job. 20 points is the difference. It's a remarkable turnout. And to be fair, if you go beyond 4th place, it's even worse because they're only on 50. A very distorted league with the top 4 miles clear of the rest. And we have done our job, which I'm incredibly proud of. A brilliant result, a brilliant performance, a great effort from Komi in the first half as well. But let's go and have a look at the schedule because there's no point me showing you too much more here. We're going to come back for the last game against Nara, and then we will go through yet again to the job centre and see if there's anything that can entice us back to Europe or even elsewhere in world football. If you're looking forward to that though, and you did enjoy seeing us become champions, rare early success in a head coach story, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of this season and see what jobs do come up over the winter months, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you lead Gifu into the 2nd tier, trust the director of football to bring in good replacements in key areas, or would you be looking to jump now you've done the job? I guess it will partly depend on the expectations for next season, but for now, I feel like we might have to move on. But what a first job it's been. It's been great fun. And we will come back to see the end of the season. In the meantime, though, we will be back tomorrow morning to continue our save with Southend United. We had our transfer special earlier today. You can find that playlist so far in the eye above if you've missed any of it. We also had a special top 3 at the weekend, which is up there too, in addition to the Twitch channel and the football podcast too. But thank you very much for watching as always. What an incredible achievement. I'm not used to early success in the head coach. I'm probably going to get a bit too excited and it'll all fade away now. I'll see you next time as we go on a job hunt.